So Cornell, flashcards, mind maps and pictures, everything is so confusing while it comes to take notes. Have you ever felt like you don't know how to take notes or anything, like how to study? So here are a few tips how you can take your notes very effectively and which can help you study for your school or university exams. Hey Inspirers, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be telling you how I take my notes and how they help me to pass my exams and also help me retain the information. But before starting with the video, please do like, share and subscribe. So the first question is why I take notes. Taking notes is not just to write or invest your time, and it is not necessary that it will help you remember or retain those information. Sometimes some students feel that taking notes will help them pay more attention or anything, but it is not like that until and unless you invest your time and you understand what you are writing. And these notes are not only helpful for that period of time but also in future, like during your exam. It will help you understand what you had prepared while you were studying for that topic. So your notes should be created as condensed and as understandable as possible. So let me tell you a trick about preparing your notes. This is told by David Heron that anything that you do can be first broken down and then build up. So let me show you my journey of notes. So this is how my notes used to look before I even started. You can see that there is a lot of commotion going on over here and you cannot understand just by one look what I want to convey through these notes. Even here you can't understand how everything works over here. But these are a little bit more later than what these notes are. Then later I started using pictures, some colors and everything. I started highlighting the headings, some charts. Then I started highlighting what is important for me. Like this is a topic that I found very difficult to understand, and this is how I like to study this topic. So those were the things that I liked to write on iPad. These are the notes that I take on paper. So these are some MCQ questions, and how I like to write my MCQ questions is the question, then the options, the one that is correct I highlight it, then solution, and then I write why. Then I explain why this is the solution and why this is the correct answer. And sometimes I also write why these are the wrong answers. For example, this. These are the explanations why only this is the correct answer to this question. A lot of people will tell you to study in charts. So charts are to be studied when there are two contrasting topics. So this is how you study the contrasting topics, and this is what is common in these contrasts. And for example, you have to prepare a chart. This is how you will prepare it. Like these are two main points and then how they are related to each other and how it causes the outcomes. And here are some colorful notes. These are the notes that I take during the lecture, and you can see that they are colorful, like I highlight the points and everything. And these written in pencil or sticky notes, they are the points that I didn't understand during the lecture, or those are the new terms that I didn't know at that period of time. So after I come home and review my notes, I will just stick on some sticky notes and explain those points for myself when I will revise it. So let me just show you how I take my notes. So this is iPad 10.2 2018, and I like to take my notes in with a pencil, and the app that I use for taking notes on iPad is Good Notes. So what I like to do is just create a new notebook, and I use the square grid paper which is white, So I'll be explaining you two different topics, how you can take notes for them and how they differ. So what I basically do is, while I take my notes, is I use this expand tool. So here I can see the whole paper and here I can write my notes. So the first thing that I will explain you is atherosclerosis. And this is how it looks. So the thing that I am going to explain you about atherosclerosis are its stages. So I will write it with a different color. So I know that there are 6 stages for atherosclerosis. I'll number them down. 1 and leave some space. So the first is when there is an artery and there is a small block. Let's take the block to be yellow. And this is the blood. So first it will be covered and this is the artery. So the blood can flow easily, as you can see. Then take the second. So here again there is the artery, the block, and here there is damage in the surface that was covering the block. So what will happen is, some blood will accumulate over here and the rest will flow. The third is artery, the block, the damaged part, and here it will form a blood clot and rest of the blood will keep on flowing. For the fourth stage, the artery will continue its place and here it will form a larger blood clot. And for the fifth stage, what will happen is, the blood clot will completely occlude, will completely block the blood. So it will now form a clot and the blood can't go further. And the sixth stage is that it forms a large clot so that no blood or anything can pass. So just looking at this, I can know that the first stage is just a simple spot. Second, there is damage. Third, there is clot. Fourth, again there is a increased clot. Fifth, there is a term called as embolism. And then there is a complete block and no blood passes through it. So this is how a pictorial depiction looks like. Now let's say that you are learning how something develops. So how you will prepare that is, let me explain it through a topic. Example, it is an intestinal block. So I know that if there is a block, there is going to be accumulation. and it is in the intestine. So what is going to accumulate is intestinal contents. Which will lead to distension, that is increase in the size of the lumen. Which will cause vomiting and transudation of the juices that are produced in our intestines. So this is how I have depicted. So I know the start point is intestinal block. So here I can understand the start point is intestinal block and it later causes intoxication and hemodynamic disturbances. So how it started is from here it goes here and this also causes this causes this, which later leads to all this. So this is how you will show the flow of your thought process. So these are the methods that I personally use and which are effective for me. But there are going to be chances that these won't be helpful for you and you will have different methods of studying. So keep on trying different methods until you find the right one and stick to that. It is not always necessary that you will be having same type of method of studying each and every subject that you have. So that is it for today's video. Until then, keep inspiring.